Yeah, hello everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's hi Patrick, how are you? Yeah, let's wait a little bit, like 2 to 3 minutes for people joining us.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think we should create some time. Maybe while we wait, we can introduce ourselves for the next 5 to 10 minutes. That is part of our program. We want to get to know everybody, right? To actually know you in person and get to work with you someday. So if you feel you are new, joining us for the first time, please feel free to introduce yourself. Yeah, you can take the floor if you want. Yeah, feel free.
Okay. Hello, good day. This is Fred John Nambala from University of Zambia in Zambia, Lusaka. I work at the Department of Physics. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fred. Oh, Dr. Fred, sorry. Thanks for coming to join us on this program, and we're
Welcome.
happy to have you. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I'm Fernand Bale from Cote d'Ivoire. I'm co-chair of Subcommittee of Geodesy and also member of the government board of IGS. I'm very, very, very happy to be part of that meeting.
Excellent, excellent. From where?
From Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire.
Oh, wow. So we have Cote d'Ivoire. Yeah, excellent. So nice. That's part of one of the locations we are actually interested in. I think is part of the belt that we are considering to put GNSS receiver. So it's good to have you here, Mr. Fernand.
Thank you very much. We can have a discussion on that after the meeting.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, please feel free to take up the floor, introduce yourself. Yeah. Do we have any other person that is coming for the first time that wants to say one or two things? This is the time to, let me share my screen just to get us on the way. Please feel free, introduce yourself. I can see some new people. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. We want to get to know you guys. And I can see that our special speaker today is here already. So we'll get started shortly. Yeah. But for now, let's get to know ourselves.
Okay, I've been here for many times, but I would still like to introduce myself. I can see some new faces.
Yeah, please.
So I'm Patrick Essien from Ghana, University of Cape Coast, specifically Department of Physics. I'm working on space weather and then ionosphere, that is equatorial and low latitude ionosphere specifically. And currently, I think University of Cape Coast is preparing to host the Space Weather Center for Ghana. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. That's
Thank you.
awesome. Yeah.
And we are open for collaborations. I think just today University of Michigan is sending instruments to Ghana. We have another instrument from Japan, and we are open for all collaborations. If you really want to study, especially equatorial and low latitude region of Africa, we are open for hosting the instrument and then collaborating other endeavors. Thank you.
Yeah. We have a lot of collaborators from Ghana. I think Ghana is hand in hand with Nigeria on this collaboration on CONGA, and we're happy to have our neighbor, our brother, Ghana, to be one of the great participants of this program. And I can see some other people from Ghana. I think they will introduce themselves, but let's do it quickly, as quick as we can. And please take the floor.
All right. Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Good morning. My name is Adeni Rashion.
Okay.
I am a PhD student at National Institute for Space Research in Brazil, currently doing my PhD in Brazil. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sheon. Thank you. I think I'm one of the advisor of Sheon PhD, and
sir.
I'm happy to see him here. Thank you for joining, Sheon.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, all. My name is Yushau Suleiman. I'm a PhD student from Kebbi State University of Science and Technology, Aleru. Actually, this is my first time joining this. I take interest in the workshop due to its relevance to my work. Actually, currently, I'm conducting my research at space at SANSA, South African Space Agency. Happy to join this. Thank you.
Absolutely. Where is that country again? What country are you from?
I'm from Nigeria.
Oh, Nigeria. Okay.
Yeah, I'm from Nigeria.
Oh, excellent. Thank you, Mr. Yusuf. Thank you for joining for the first time. I hope you enjoy every bit of this meeting. And
thank you, sir.
If you can be on video, we appreciate that. If you can't, it's fine. But if you can, do that.
I will be on video, but as time goes on, I will cut up. I will cut up the video.
But this time that we want to introduce ourselves, we will love everybody to be on video if you can, so that we'll get to know you better.
All right, sir. I will be on the video. I will be.
Okay. So any other person that wants to take the floor?
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Yes.
I'm Sanyaolu Modupe from Redeemers University, Nigeria. I work in the Department of Physics. I'm a lecturer, and I've been here a couple of times. I still want to be part of this because I've found this a platform to be very, very educative. And we are also open to collaborations. And I'm also, I think I've sent a message to Prof before now. I'm actually looking for a host for postdoc. So I wouldn't know if I can have anyone to be of help on this platform as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ms. Modupe. I will advise you to at least present your work, what you are doing. Maybe that will help. Maybe somebody may pick interest, and then you can get a host. So nobody can tell. So just make sure you are on the top of your game. And if you want to do the presentation, just contact me. I'll put it on the list. And
all right, I'll do that.
there. Yeah. People may want to know what you are doing before they can host you, right? So thank you for introducing yourself, and we are very glad that you are here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other person that wants to go? I see Benjamin. This is Dr. Benjamin. We used to be, I think we met in one of the conferences. If you want to introduce yourself, Dr. Benjamin. Thank you for coming anyway. I see, That's it. How are you? I think his network is not good. I see also Solomon Otu. A lot of people.
The
Don't be
network
shy
is
to
shaking.
introduce yourself, please. Yeah, Dr. Benjamin, your network is very bad. Sorry.
Yes,
I think we are having difficulty to hear you.
All right. Thank you so much, and Dr. Benjamin Joshua. Yushau Suleiman is one of my PhD students.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm from Kebbi State University of Science and Technology in Nigeria. Yeah, I've been away for a very long time, but currently I'm in the Gambia on a special assignment. Yes.
Oh, right.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks. It's so nice to see you again, Doctor.
Yes, thank you.
Well, welcome here.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody that wants to introduce him or herself before? I think we can take 2 more minutes to do that.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, please go ahead, Mr. Kazim.
Hey, I'm Dr. Kazim. I'm from University of Animal Health Production, brother. Welcome. Good day.
Oh, nice.
Hello, sir. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, we can hear you partially.
Okay.
And thanks for coming. And it's interesting that you are in the University of Animal and
No, I'm in Federal College of Animal Health.
Animal Health. Okay, you have some space department there as well.
Yeah, we are doing physics with electronics. Department there.
Oh, wow, that's so cool. Yeah. Thank you, and we are very glad to have you here.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Solomon Otilomote. I'm a Ghanaian and from the University of Environment and Sustainable Development, Department of Smart Technologies. I'm a space geophysicist and working on space weather research using both ground-based and then satellite instruments. Well, currently we are also, my institute is hosting one of the ICTP low-cost GNSS receivers under the guidance of Dr. Brunava from ICTP. And then in collaboration also with Professor Rabiu Babatunde from NASDAQ. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Solomon. I know Dr. Solomon far back from Brazil, and I think he finished his PhD and went back to Ghana. Thank you for showing up today. We appreciate you coming and introducing yourself. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I think we should just get started. We don't know how much our special speaker will take today, but I think he has a lot of interesting stuff to tell us about IGS. And we have been waiting for this for a long time. So let me see. Oh, just a lot of bombardment of. Okay, this is what I'm trying to do here. And let me see if I can make it bigger. So today we have our special guest, Dr. Leo. And he's also the deputy director and research, sorry. They are also the deputy director and research technology from NASA JPL. And myself and Dr. Leo, we were colleagues at JPL at some point before I left in 2022. And now Dr. Leo is the head or the deputy director of IGS. And today we are having the pleasure of having him to give us a lot of things about IGS, some guidelines and how to incorporate our data, how to exploit and take advantage or leverage, so to say, IGS to our research. So that is going to be our major focus today. And after that, we'll have an open discussion. So feel free to make remarks, ask questions and provide suggestions if you will. And then we'll have a quick update. And yeah, if we don't, a quick update here again. Yeah, if we don't have, let me see if I have any other thing I want to talk about here. Okay, so we all know that this is a meeting where we meet to build a network of people that can work together and training and development of researchers and students for ground-based instrument installation and data uses, particularly over Africa, where we are focusing our attention, where CONGA will be established. So everybody here are very important to us. We take your time very, very important. So please continue to visit us and learn one or two things as you can. And also, you can also teach us whatever you know that we don't know. And we also want to ensure that data distribution are accessible, data are accessible to everybody. So we have discovered that a lot of data are hidden there, and then there is a way we can make them available for science purposes. And this is one of the reasons why we are here today to listen to the Deputy Director from IGS. So we have a list of people that are lined up for talks. And today, like I said, Dr. Leo will take over. And our next meeting, which is on October 30th, we will have Dr. Dennis to talk about very, very important and interesting software that you can use to download and you can use to access remote GNSS receivers from Japan. So, and our last meeting for this year, which is the 12th CONGA meeting series, we will all be involved in our discussion, but I will give an overview of how the year has gone. I will celebrate our speakers. We have multiple speakers. Almost every month we bring somebody new to speak to us, and we learned a lot. So on November 27th, I will give an overview of how this has gone and what we intend to do in the future. And yeah, so that is where we'll wrap it up for the year. And in January, we'll reopen the meeting again because December is always full of activities and celebrations. So without any further ado, I will unshare my screen and invite our special speaker for today in person of Dr. Leo. Dr. Leo,
Thank you very
is yours.
Thank you very much, Olu. It is a pleasure to be able to attend and speak to you all today. An honor as well to be able to participate to this exciting prospect that is the CONGA effort that you're leading. I will steal the screen from you and start off here. Just double checking. Can everyone see my screen in full screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can see it.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much. I will start with a quick introduction. I will be presenting on behalf of the IGS Central Bureau. The IGS stands for the International GNSS Service. And this is our general presentation to, one, present the IGS. And especially today, I will give a special focus on the station guidelines that the IGS edits, as well as recommendations we would have for people installing new stations or not contributing already to the IGS data centers and network. I am Leo Martire. I work at the Propulsion Laboratory at NASA. My science side is more of a title of research technologist, and I work on ionosphere especially. atmospheric dynamics, but also waves propagating into the ionosphere. My other hat would be the IGS Central Bureau, of which I am the Deputy Director, humbly providing support to the IGS and the IGS Governing Board. Importantly, today we have Fernand Ballet joining us. Fernand is part of the IGS Governing Board and can be also a point of contact if you wish to contact him directly. And thank you very much, Fernand, for joining us today. I'll start off giving a quick introduction about the IGS. The IGS is one of the technical services of the IAG, the International Association of Geodesy. You might know some of these components on the bottom right of the slide, the IUGG in particular. This is how the IGS relates to those components. The other components, satellite laser ranging, VLBI, and DORIS contribute altogether to the International Terrestrial Reference Frame. IGS only concerns GNSS. What is exactly the IGS? First and foremost, it's a voluntary federation of more than 200 self-funding agencies and universities and institutions around the world. We are very happy to report that we have participation from more than 40 countries and or regions, all working together voluntarily. The Central Bureau is one small component of this, which purpose is to help with the administrative organization of the IGS. The mission of the IGS is to provide the highest possible quality data, GNSS data, typically RINEX files, products, of which I will give a quick description, and other services, all free, all openly available, and accessible from around the world. Important examples of what the IGS supports is the International Terrestrial Reference Frame, the ITRF, all kinds of Earth observation, research, and science, position navigation and timing, as we provide calibrations for all constellations, and a plethora of other applications benefiting science, but also society. A little detail on the IGS products. For example, we provide satellite orbits and related attitudes, Earth rotation parameters, which allow to relate the International Terrestrial Reference Frame to the celestial frame, coordinates and velocities for all the ground receivers part of the IGS network, the ground stations, clocks and timescales information, offsets, for all satellites, all constellations, and the ground receivers. Ionospheric and tropospheric monitoring, namely in tropospheric monitoring. This is useful for heavy weather, heavy rain, tropospheric water vapor, as well as many others that I do not have the time to detail today. The IGS is divided into a number of components. The main ones are listed in this slide. I will focus on the network of ground receivers, and for the others, you can visit IGS.org. All of the information on the IGS, how it functions, and how to access its data and products is available on this website. Namely, to go quickly over it, we have data centers holding the data and the products. We have analysis centers taking the data and transforming it into products. A series of about 12 committees, pilot projects, and working groups who have each a specific task. If we have time, I can go over them to give a quick example. And governing board and coordinators, I fit the Central Bureau under this for general coordination, and a set of more than 300 associate members, individuals who are interested in the IGS and contribute to some extent or just want to be kept in touch with the IGS's activities. The IGS network, what we call that, is a set of more than 520 stations around the globe, in more than 100 stations. We can see on this rotating map that the coverage is pretty good. And if we want to explore all stations, you can visit this webpage, network.igs.org, which also allows you to get information and details and data from each of these stations. The green dots are, of course, the active stations. We have a few of them in orange and red that are either decommissioned or inactive. And we're constantly working to maintain the best possible quality network with the highest possible availability. Importantly, maybe for this meeting, and relating to the CONGA objectives, the IGS network is very sparse on the African continent. We know that there is a lot of GNSS ground receivers on the continent. It's only that they are not part of the IGS network. And generally, we consider countries in Africa as underrepresented in IGS, and we wish to include this country and you all more into our activities so that we have a balanced representation around the world. Now, talking about stations, an important point that I wanted to bring to you all today is that the IGS has developed guidelines to ensure the stable, efficient, and accurate long-term operations of ground stations. This was based on 30 or even more, for some cases, years of expertise of our network coordinators, which generated this set of guidelines and checklists and, in general, just guidance to install the best possible station and make sure that the data will be of highest possible quality. In turn, because the IGS uses this data, we can provide the highest possible quality product. And so one main point that I wanted to insist on in this presentation is that we think and we recommend that for the benefit of the community at large, all of the scientific community using GNSS, we recommend that all GNSS stations, especially the ones that are to be installed, follow the IGS guidelines. We made an effort to release those guidelines in multiple languages. The first document was, of course, the English one, but we translated it into French, namely here with the help of Fernand, in German, and we have a Spanish version finalized. We just need to upload it, and it will be coming soon. Now, what about joining the IGS network? We also wanted to make that as easy as possible. And so if you have a site already installed, or if you are planning on installing a new one, you can find a useful checklist that relates to the guidelines, of course, at this URL here, IGS.org new site checklist. And once the guidelines are reviewed, you can visit propose new site, all available, and once again on the website, to propose that site. It has to have a main point of contact agency or organization, and from there on, the relevant components in the IGS will be in contact to help you with uploading the data to the right place. But even before that, the IGS can also help you in the process. Feel free to reach out to Central Bureau at IGS.org, cb@igs.org, for any questions you might have on the overall process. This mailing list only goes to 5 people, myself included, so do not be afraid to send us an email. We do our best to reply to everyone reaching out. This is part of our job. But of course, there's always other ways to participate in the IGS. To be kept in touch, you can at least join our mailing lists, and you can find those in igs.org/mail. Some of them are thematic. So the IGS mail, the very first one on the top left, is very general. It contains all major announcements. And then we have some specific mailing lists for specific topics. Namely, when we organize events and workshops, we always announce them through these mailing lists. So this would allow you to be kept in touch with the activities. If you want to be a little more involved, you can become an associate member. There is an application form which essentially just collects information about who you are, what organization are you attached to, what is your expertise, and how do you, or do you even want to participate? You can simply be an associate member to be part of the community. There is no obligation except filling out the form. Associate members vote for some people on the governing board. So you would have voting power to steer the IGS in the direction that is most impactful for you. And generally, associate members join one of the committees or working groups to participate and offer their expertise to these components. At a higher level, if your organization is already contributing to the IGS, please send us or fill out this form, contributing ad, so that we record that your organization is indeed contributing to the IGS already. We have a number of stakeholder organizations that we recognize and regularly thank for their critical contributions to the IGS. Typically, if your organization is already contributing a station, that is reason enough to be in this list. If your organization hosts an analysis center or provides products or holds data, this is also reason enough. So I'll conclude here. I know that Olu wasn't too sure. I should have communicated earlier how long it would take, but I can finish right here with a few conclusions and important points that I would like to convey to you all. The IGS, I realize, might not be known to everyone, but is a leading international organization that leverages 30 and more years of GNSS expertise. We recommend that new GNSS stations follow the station guidelines, if only in order for your data that you only use to be the best quality possible. But of course, we would love if you would participate to the IGS. We encourage participation from underrepresented regions, and we do and will provide accommodation for new participants, if only in terms of organizing our virtual meetings at time zones that are comfortable for everyone. And finally, and most importantly, we encourage adding stations, especially from underrepresented regions, to the IGS network. Once again, on the topic of the African continent, we do not have enough stations to have a truly balanced representation of the world with those stations. We have a few, but we could use a lot more. The international GNSS community, because it uses IGS products, would greatly benefit from such additions, and of course would be particularly grateful for this effort. In general, if you have any questions, concerns, even the smallest possible question, please feel free to reach out to either Fernand or myself, or cb@igs.org. We would gladly hear your questions and provide as much information as we can, and perhaps also help in help you leverage what the IGS has to offer in the best possible way. So this is the main part of the presentation. I have a few slides about the other components, but I'll leave it to that if anyone has questions first.
Yeah, thank you very much, Leo. This is really good because you actually make it very brief, and we have room for questions. So if I think this is more of question and remarks and suggestions kind of talk, because IGS is there for everybody, but not a lot of people are participating in that IGS. Probably they don't know so many things about it. So now that we have someone that is at the top that can explain and help us to understand how we can actually leverage this network to our own benefit, I think it's good that we have time for questions. So please, I will open the floor for questions, and you may have any clarifications. So in the US, when you show that map that rotates, that shows that, yeah, this one. If you go to the American sector,
Yeah.
yeah, so you see that they have more or less very sparse distribution, given the level of GNSS distribution over the United States. What is the reason for that? And this is in the US, JPL, NASA, you have a lot of connections here. Why are you not having the stations in IGS?
So as you can see, right at this bottom left of the US, this is California and Southern California. We have a lot of stations, but mostly because we are in very close contact with those universities, institutions, literally just because they are close by. The same holds for the Pacific Northwest on the top left corner here, because we collaborate a lot with the state of Washington up there, and we have a lot of stations available. But overall, because of that, we can reach to USGS, EarthScope, who have their own stations and choose to essentially send us their best one as part of the IGS network. Damn it, this is annoying. As part of the IGS network. There is a lot more stations in the world. This is only the IGS network. Our hope is to have as many stations as possible. There is a gap here in the southeast of the US. It's more so because we do not have standing collaborations with these states, but there are a ton of stations down here too. Same holds for Mexico, for Peru, for Colombia, etc. We have a decent collaborations with Brazil and South America, Chile and Argentina, but some countries not so much. The same holds for Europe, the same holds for Australia, and actually the Pacific. Granted, there are a few islands that the US has military bases there. What we're lacking in the African continent is more so, this is annoying, is contact, which we hope to foster here with all the experts that we do not know yet. There is an ongoing effort, not only for stations, but to just get collaborations going with the entire African continent. Yeah, it's more so who we already know. The map represents more who we already know, more so than the stations that are available.
So just a follow up to that, I used to work with Bill at A-Stack Observatory, MIT, and it has a lot of GNSS incorporated into the CEDAR network. And that is because maybe the guidelines and maybe the procedure to actually get data from these people are more likely, I don't know. I'm just thinking, could it be that the guideline, it's so difficult for people to actually follow or understand? Can you bring it down to a level where it's easy for people to actually participate in a very much better way?
So there is definitely a part that is exactly that. I was saying earlier, networks usually send us their best stations, and that's related to what you're saying. The guidelines, especially to be included in the network, you have to have a very high quality station by default. It has to be extremely stable. It has to follow the guidelines to the letter. And therefore, the point is not so much with the IGS network is not so much to acquire the most data, but it's to acquire an homogeneously distributed, very high quality data. Because the logic behind that and what we can't compromise on is that all of these stations contribute to the IGS reference frame, which contributes to the International Terrestrial Reference Frame, which combines all four techniques. And so we cannot allow ourselves to have GNSS data that is not the best quality possible. This is the reason behind it. Now, in practice now, we're not so much seeking additions in the US because we already have a pretty good coverage. We're now focusing on underrepresented regions that do not contribute data, or essentially where we have gaps in our coverage. We are regularly adding new stations. I think in this year, there was already half a dozen new ones, but there are exceptions that can be made if your station is in an area of sparse coverage. Say, for example, there is a station in northeastern Niger. If it's not the best possible quality, we can still accept it on basis of the gap is too big. We need someone there. I don't know if that makes sense, if that answers your question.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's interesting, and it is good that we are having this discussion now, because CONGA, for example, you show a map that actually show very sparse distribution over Africa, and by the time we get ready to launch CONGA, we would have your guidelines and follow it because we are starting from scratch. So that it is very, very crucial that we are having this discussion.
That is exactly the hope. And then, yeah, hence why the main point was to advertise those guidelines. And, there is the guidelines, and based on a science objective, we recommend to use them, if only just for your own purpose, because we know from our experience that it allows the highest possible quality data. So even if you don't contribute your station to the IGS, it is good practice to follow those guidelines.
Absolutely.
Of course, even better if you can provide your station and add it to the network, because then the entire community would benefit from it.
Yeah, I know there are people here with GNSS receivers that may want to incorporate this into IGS. And if you think that it's too late or you don't know where to start, you can ask questions.
Absolutely. Now or later, and at these email addresses, if you want.
Yeah, Patrick Essen is raising his hand. Please go ahead.
Okay, so thank you, Leo, for the presentation. Yeah, so actually, the question I wanted to ask has been asked, getting the clarification. But let me say this one, like when I was doing my PhD, I thought there were not GPS receivers or GNSS receivers in Ghana. It was when I came, then I realized that they are, but actually they are not incorporated in any of those networks, okay, where you can get them online to download. So I think with your presentation, it has given us or educated me on how I can go about it. Though I don't own the receiver, but I know some of the agencies that own those receivers or that are hosting those receivers. Yeah. So I you share your slides so that we will read it to be more comprehensive. Okay, so that we can go about talking to or liaising with those agencies if they can do the needful for the various networks or data they are receiving to be on probably IGS network. Thank you very much.
So,
Absolutely.
okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I'll send my slides to Olu, and we can distribute those. This is all public knowledge, and if it allows us to reach out better and get contacts, because what we're lacking right now is that we don't have enough contacts on the African continent. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think for the contact is very necessary. Even this morning, we got an email from one of the universities in US sending GPS receiver to Ghana, GNSS receiver to Ghana, So I think with this kind of things, it will be better to perhaps IGS and then other things, so that by the end of the day, we will have a holistic data where you can use to do the necessary analysis or the research that you want to do. So thank you very much.
Oh, my pleasure. Absolutely. That's great perspectives going forward.
I think I have a number of questions, but I will start from Aziza.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Just one question. Please, I want to have a straightforward way to access any total electron content data from the IGS network. I tried but I opened many pages and I got lost in details about the stations and
yes.
Yeah, thank you. This is my question.
Okay. So there are data available. I think if you are comfortable with this, can you send me an email? I can point you to the correct data repositories where you can find maps of maps of total electron content, but also another repository where there is line of sight TEC as well. I can point you directly to it.
Oh, this is your email? This is written right here, vo.martire, yes? Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, I will quickly take a question from Todd Valentic.
Hi, Leo. Leo.martire at IGS.org. Leo.martire.
Oh, okay.
Leo.martire.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, that's all right. So, Leo, I'm Todd Valentic. I work with Olu, and I'm one of the engineers designing the new stations. And the guidelines are fantastic. It's exactly what we kind of needed as a good overview of what to do. One of the questions that we did have in there, it looked like the requirements on the antennas were fairly stringent, and in particular, wanting antenna measurements or robotic measurements it was mentioning. Can you talk a little bit about that? And is that a common feature of the higher end antennas? Yeah, well, we get just a inexpensive or low end GPS antenna. It doesn't come with from the factory with a measured antenna pattern or stuff like that.
Absolutely. Well, yes. So I know that the GNSS antenna is part of the highest cost and therefore doesn't really fit fully the low cost objective. It is stringent for these reasons I was mentioning above, because we want highest quality possible. We want the calibrations and the robot calibrations, especially because the PCOs and PCVs, the phase offsets. Oops, what's that? The phase offsets are critical in determining the orbits. Again, because in certain regions, the objective is more to have a station. There is potentially a possibility to lift some of the constraints by getting an actual station there. And analysis centers would know, because of course they know all the characteristics of all stations, they would know that these antennas were not calibrated and they can adjust their processing accordingly. So the guidelines are somewhat of an ideal case where if we had infinite money, that's the best installation that we can do. But then pragmatical constraints come into play, especially into the coverage. But similarly,
great, thank you.
And you can send an email at CB or at Fernand or myself. We would be able to point you to the antenna committee, who would be able to give you even more technical details. I only know so much about the antenna.
Okay, great, thank you.
And just to mention that Todd is one of our software engineer that is actually designing CONGA. So he may always contact you at some point to clarify some things.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We have more questions from Yusuf. Yusuf, please. Sorry. No.
Hello, yes,
Sorry.
yes. Thank you for the opportunity to ask the question. I also thank Dr. Leo for the wonderful presentation. Actually, I like the IGS network, the website, the way it is being presented. I think it's one of the its kind in terms of searching GNSS network from all over the world. What I want to ask here is that those IGS network has a platform where you can download a data, RANES data in particular at a click, just like others like UNAPCO, Sonel, and others. Do you have a platform for that?
Yes. So, what I would encourage you to do is to go to network.igs.org. It will show you that map on which you can click on each station. And from there, you can be pointed to where the data is held. We do not technically host it at the Central Bureau or at JPL. We have data centers and a series of them who hold the data for us. And so essentially what we have on the network map is links to those data centers.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, and we have questions from Sheon Adeniro. Please go ahead.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, sir, Dr. Jonah, for this opportunity, and Dr. Liu. I really like the presentation. Thank you very much. So my question is, you talk about the components of IGS. You talk about data analysis, data center. Can you please tell us the roles of those components?
Absolutely.
Data analysis center. Yeah, especially analysis center.
Thank you for the question. It allows me to use my backup slides. I'll start one by one so that I cover everything for everyone. And also that responds to the previous questions. So we have data centers, and I'll get to analysis centers just next. The data centers are either global, regional, or operational. And some, depending on which one, you might have different types of data and or product. Especially, there are a few frequencies at which the data is uploaded. There are the final products, which are generally uploaded a week after the time of the data. There are rapid products that are released a day after. There are ultras and real-time data. So we cover all frequencies. And of course, the further you are from the data point, the best quality it is. But sometimes you need real-time, and some data centers hold real-time data as well. The data centers collect data, but also some of them collect products generated by the IGS. they have very important duties to make it available, accessible, to make it findable, to validate it, to handle permanent archival, so going forever, and make sure that they are in line with the other data centers so that we have a homogeneous set of data overall. The analysis centers are perhaps the most important component of the IGS. There are a few, I think there are 14 now. Their job is to take the data and transform it into products, to take essentially RINEX and to transform it into orbits, calibrations, ionosphere data, troposphere data, etc. So the analysis centers receive or take the data from different data centers, make the products, and generate a set of products that are core to the IGS. In particular, if you want to become an analysis center, if your organization wants to become an analysis center, I can provide you with all the guidance, but one of the duties of an analysis center is to provide those products listed here, and I can give more details. And there is one more component, which is the analysis center coordinator, which makes the final single IGS product by combining the results from all 14 analysis centers. So this is a collaborative effort. Everyone does it in their corner, and then we put them together to generate the official one IGS product. One orbit, one Earth rotation, one station coordinate, etc. There are a few others that specialize into one simple thing. For example, at JPL, we have an analysis center. We have also an ionosphere one that generates ionosphere only products. Yeah, so before I go further, does that answer your question, or do you want some more details on this?
All right, thank you very much. It's okay. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. And then on a more collaborative aspect, we have 3 different subcomponents: committees, pilot projects, and working groups, which have slightly different objectives. Committees are more permanent, and they oversee how we develop IGS products and essentially provide the best scientific guidance on some specific topics. Pilot project is new things that we hope become operational later, and working groups are targeted finite time objectives. Without getting into too much details, this is the list of the 9 IGS committees. So there's one for handling antennas, another for handling biases and calibrations, another for clocks. Infrastructure is more about installing and maintaining the network. Ionosphere, self-explanatory. Real-time focuses on the specific problems of doing real-time data and products. Reference frame is combining into one core product, which is the IGS reference frame. RINEX is all about standardization. This is where the RINEX format comes from and is maintained day to day. When your station sends RINEX data, it has to follow the guidelines or the standard that is developed in this committee. And then troposphere is also self-explanatory, details about the troposphere data. A few pilot projects, 3 of them. GNSS monitoring, which is about interoperability between constellations. Multi-GNSS is for multi-constellation. GNSS monitoring is to monitor the health of those satellites and how they might drift from their factory calibrations. And precise point positioning is all about developing software that does the best possible quality precise point positioning. And then finally, there's one working group, EDI, IDA, which is an inclusivity, diversity, equity, and accessibility working group in which we strive to be as inclusive and diverse in the IGS. This is, of course, related to developing our capacities and our collaborations in underrepresented regions because we want to be inclusive, and also to make sure that everyone is equitably included as best as possible in the IGS. So yeah, those were the different components from the IGS. There's a lot. I don't have the time to go into details for all of them, but once again, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have now or by email.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And I think I'll take the last question from our very own Yinka. Yinka,
Thank you. Thank you, Olu. Thank you, Leo, for this excellent talk. It's very nice to see you again also. If you come back to the slide 11, going back to the initial discussion about the lack of stations in the African region, are you aware of the reason why these red stations are not available? I mean, I think there are different reasons, I imagine, but it's a lack of personnel, or do you know?
So yeah, so what we can really only see from our side is the original problem. We can't really say anything about the organizational needs there. In practice, by experience, we know that sometimes it is because of lack of personnel, but it can be as simple as the reasons range from the station became non-functional for any sort of reason. Maybe the power supply failed, maybe it fell over, which actually might not be very often. It can be that the connectivity doesn't work. Maybe the phone network didn't hold, maybe the internet connection dropped. It can be, even if all of the above works, it can be that the institution in question either doesn't have any personnel left or simply does not upload the data to the right place. And
probably stations are still working, but the data is not available.
The data is not coming, and it's most often this case because the only thing we can see on our end, they're flagged automatically as different colors based on how old the last bit of data is. And so I think, well, the legend is available on the website, but I think this is 30 days and 60 days. So sometimes, upload protocols change. And if the operating agencies do not update at the same time, it can just be that the data doesn't make it to us. And so for those stations, we try as much as possible to reach out to the person and say, well, we don't receive the data anymore. Can you do something about it? Sometimes they do, and sometimes we don't have any response. And so slowly some of them fade out just because we have no news. Again, a problem more of being in contact and regular contact with each and every operator, which is the core problem for those stations, but the core approach that we're taking right now. We want points of contact to develop the network, and we want to keep those points of contact to maintain it later.
Thank you. I think this is an information very important for CONGA project.
Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Yeah, Leo, let's appreciate Dr. Leo again. Thank you very much. This has been very, very, very educative. And as you know, we have multiple people representing multiple countries, in this meeting. Most of the time we do that. And it is also good that they see what is going on. I see the map of Africa. Nigeria has no functional receptor. Algeria, a lot of big countries there has nothing to show for. I think Ghana also has nothing like functional. So we have Ghanaians that are professors here. So they will go back and try to do something about it. So please, we are very, very grateful for your time, Dr. Leo, and we appreciate you so much. And I think we should try to end it here today. Do we have any final remarks?
Hello, Olu.
Yeah, please.
There is a GNSS station in Sunyani.
That is where?
Sunyani is in the Bono region, should I say, northwest part of Ghana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, within the middle belt.
Mhm.
But when I was looking at the map, I can't see it on the map of Ghana. So maybe I don't know how we can get it.
The only station we have in Ghana right now is in Accra.
Okay, but the one, to the best of my knowledge, the one we have as Sunyane is healthy. But how to get data connected to IGS network is what I need to know more. Maybe you can educate me on that later. Sorry, I joined in a bit late.
Oh, I see. This has been the discussion of the day. So I think you joined late, and that is the reason why you're asking that question.
Yes.
Dr. Leo has done a very, very good job in helping us understand how we can incorporate our data into that network. So I will, fortunately, he has given us the privilege to share this presentation. I recalled almost all of our discussion here at every meeting. So there's a privilege. I cannot share it because it's very large, and that is why I don't really often share it, but I can share the PowerPoint presentation to everybody. So, but if you are interested in the talk or the discussion that we had here today, just let me know. Maybe in one of the meeting, like we can do it, but there is no way I can share it. My company organization will not allow all the domain that are included in that mailing list to be entered into the SharePoint. So that is why
Going forward, you need to have a website for CONGA so that some of these things can be resolved.
Exactly. That's a very good point.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you can upload onto the website and people can access it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is the next thing. I think we should discuss that next year for way forward for CONGA. Yeah, thank you for raising that. That's absolutely important.
Just before even you share the presentation, Dr. Francis, I have put in the chat my email address. You can reach out with just that very question, and then I can provide you all the resources ahead of time too.
Okay, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
And if there is no further questions, I think we will call it a day. And I appreciate our speaker again for today. Thank you very much, Dr. Leo. This wonderful, wonderful presentation and discussion. Thank you. And we will see again next meeting, which is on the 30th of October. We have a very great presentation again. Wonderful, wonderful presentation from Dr. Dennis. He was here sometime during the month. So he promised, he volunteered to be here again to just share how you can download the software. It's a webinar kind of. It was going to teach us how you can connect one or two things together to download the data and to make your GNSS connect to the upline that you want it to connect to. So that's going to be wonderful and educative meeting as well. So until then, I hope you have a very great and wonderful rest of the month, and see you then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Olu.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Olu.
Thank
All
you
right.
very much.
Dr.
Bye-bye.
Joshua.
Bye.
See you.
Thank you. Bye
Dr.
bye.
Joshua.
Yeah.
Longest time. I said longest time.
Oh, yes, sir. Good to see you again.
Okay, happy to see you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
doing well.
you. Thank you. Very well.
Right.
Thank you. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Olu, I thought you would be in that your attire today.
Oh, yeah, I would have loved to.
It was wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, regards to the family.
Yeah, thanks. Nice seeing you here. Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
thank you so much.
All
Thank
right.
you.
I hope Daddy is there, and Doctor. You're very humble. Oh, he left. Okay. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you all. We appreciate you and your time. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Liu.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Mhm.